So this month I'm focusing on digestive wellness, right? And so one thing that I've done is I started a cleanse like on the 30th of last month. And so that means I'm on day 14 of my cleanse, and I'm doing it for the whole month. So if you have more questions about that, feel free to ask, and I can kind of try and answer as we go. But one side effect of a cleanse, if you didn't know, and I'll talk about this a little bit more, is that you can actually, it's easier to get sick while you're doing a cleanse because your body is releasing a lot of toxins, and so your immune system is having to deal with those toxins. So I also went on vacation and I was camping, et cetera, et cetera. So I have kind of a summer cold, and I've been using all my essential oils. So it's not nearly as bad as it could be, but I just spent the day resting. So I haven't really been in work mode as much as I would like. I've been more in rest mode. And it's also super hot. That's why I got my hair up. I'm sweaty. It's fine because we're all here together and we're going to talk about digestive wellness. And so the first thing that I want to talk about, actually before I do that, as we go, pop your questions up because I can see them on my phone screen and I want to answer them as we go. And if it seems like it's going to be a long, involved answer, I may tell you I'll answer it at the end, but I want y'all to stump me. Ask me a question I don't know the answer to, okay? And then I'll find it out. Okay, so we're on slide 1. All right, slide 1, which is the one with all of the little doctor paraphernalia on there. So the first thing that digestion will do 4 things for you, okay, that I want to talk about tonight. I want to focus on tonight. Boost your immunity. Now, why is digestion and immunity so linked? I don't know if y'all know that, but if you have poor digestion, you're going to get sick a lot. That's just the way that it is. If you have better digestion, you're less likely to get sick. The reason for that is that 80% of our immune system is inside of our gut. So when everything is going smoothly, then our immune system response will increase. When everything is going poorly with your digestion, then you're more likely to get sick because your body can't handle that load. You're also more likely to have autoimmune diseases. So if we think about the whole gluten issue, right? There's tons of them. Hashimoto, Graves, lupus, everything that has to do with autoimmune disease, a lot of those issues stem from digestion. And so the Maker's Diet that is part of my cleanse that I've told a bunch of y'all about, that I started doing the Maker's Diet the first time was in 2006, I believe, because I had a friend who had ulcerative colitis. And she really wanted to fix it, and she didn't know how, and the medication wasn't really helping. And so she'd been told by several people about this guy who had Crohn's disease, and he fixed his Crohn's disease by fixing his digestive system. But he had discovered through that there are a whole host of other diseases people had that helped. So we did that for like a day, and she chickened out, and I ended up being the only person who did the cleanse. But it helped so much. It helped with my allergies. It helped with my back pain, inflammation, insulin resistance. Of course, I lost a bunch of weight, and asthma as well. And so I was really never healthier in terms of just general, like being able to stop taking pills, as when I was in college, when I was doing, after I did that cleanse. Then, of course, life happened, and it was too expensive for me to eat organic and all that stuff when I was newly married, with a part-time retail job. And so I got off of that, and over the next year, my health really plummeted. And that was kind of that, kind of up and down, but really pretty low time health-wise in my life until I started to really say, okay, let me just go back to the things that I know work. And I'd done so much damage that I needed the essential oils to help get me out of it. I couldn't just correct it with digestion. So we're going to talk about all of that. But anyway, the other thing about your digestion is that you have, about immunity, is that when you have body systems and they're all working together, and you can only have 100% effort at any time, right? So if your body is doing a couple of different things, it's keeping your body temperature up, right? It's keeping you warm. It is fighting off any sort of immune system issues, and it's digesting food and turning it into energy. So if any of those things is not working, then it's going to hurt the other ones. So if you have a cold your digestive system actually slows down. If your digestive system slows down, then it's easier to get a cold, if that makes sense. But when you get sick, what is the first thing that you want to do? You want to probably eat junk food and lay around. That is not good because of the next thing we're going to talk about. So y'all go to slide 2, okay? Improving your digestion enhances elimination of toxins. When you're sick and your body is trying to get rid of the virus or the bacteria or whatever it is, your body will try and fight it off. And if it has trouble fighting it off, what it will say is, I don't know what else to do with this. I'm just going to hide it somewhere. And it will actually store that in your fat cells. So it will add fat, it will add weight to you and store toxins inside of your fat cells. And I actually was watching a video today about skin brushing that where she talks about the fact that part of why we have cellulite is because of toxins that are taking up space in our fat cells. I haven't researched more into that to know the extent to which that's true. But anyway, I do know that one reason when you do a cleanse that you tend to get sick is because all of those, as you lose weight, all of those toxins and the bacteria and the viruses and all of those things start coming back out of your fat cells and into your bloodstream. And you need to eliminate them, right? So anytime you go to the bathroom, you're eliminating toxins. If you're stopped up, then what happens? The toxins can't get out and they go back into your bloodstream. After sitting in your colon for a while, they go back in your bloodstream. Your body doesn't know what to do with them. They put them back in fat cells. So if you're sick, the best thing that you can do, eat less, eat things that are easy to digest, keep warm, and do not eat junk food. Don't eat things that your body wants to store as fat, okay? So that, none of this so far necessarily has to do with essential oils. It's just really important information for you guys. As I said, just ask me questions if you have them as I go. Okay, so Ida, I've been there, done that. I tend to yo-yo one way or the other. I probably, if I went to a doctor and really asked them about it, they would probably say I have IBS. I've always had bad digestion, and you're right, digestion is not a sexy topic. Nobody likes to talk about it, but it is super important. And it's so sad that we neglect to talk about it because it's uncomfortable, because that can really control so much about the rest of your life. We know that it controls your weight to an extent, right? But it controls a lot of other things we're going to talk about in a second. But if you are stopped up, you need to fix it. And we're going to talk about how to fix it. There are a lot of ways, and many of the best ways have to do with essential oils. So never fear. We will discuss that in a second. So anyways, if you're starting to do a diet and then you get sick, I've done this in the past and you think, oh, this is not working. Now I feel terrible. Do not stop. Okay? Rest your body, drink water, eat foods that are easy to digest, and let that stuff get out. So I have done nothing but eat goat's milk yogurt and berries and some quinoa today and yesterday because I need that stuff to come out. I need just to get rid of all of the toxins. Okay. So slide 3. Y'all with me? The one that has a brain on it. Okay, slide 3. When you improve your digestion, you improve your brain function. What does that mean? So research has found that there are an abundance of neuropeptides. That's the molecules that transmit the signals in your brain, right? The things that the synapses firing and all that stuff. They have found an abundance of those in your gut. Your gut is actually called your second brain. And we also know that beneficial bacteria, with what they're starting to call the microbiome, which is all of the bacteria that are actually in your system, the good ones and the bad ones, when you have enough good ones, then that will increase mental clarity, memory, mood, etc., etc., etc. If you have an overwhelming of bad bacteria, if you don't have enough good, you tend to have an overwhelming of yeast, and we all know how much that sucks, right? If you don't have that balance, then that will affect your brain function. And so give me a thumbs up if you've ever eaten sugar and then felt like crap. Absolutely. One of the first things I had to do was quit sugar because I knew that at some point I understood that it had turned into insulin resistance and that I was pre-diabetic. That is self-diagnosed, but that I was headed in a bad direction. Not necessarily because I was super overweight, but because my body just could not handle sugar anymore. And so now if I eat sugar immediately, not only do I get a headache, but I get like nasal decongestion and like cold and flu symptoms because my body is like, get that out of here. So if you imagine just that one time, if you're feeding that to your body over and over and over again, sugar is not good for you. And why is that? Why does it affect your brain so quickly? Well, part of that is because the bad bacteria and the yeast that are in your gut love sugar. And they want to eat sugar and they want you to have sugar. And so there are literally little microbes down in your gut that are saying, eat more sugar, eat more sugar. And the more you feed it, the louder they get. So you get in a really negative cycle that you actually do not have control over. So your brain, your first brain, it has trouble outweighing your second brain and saying, shut up, we don't want to eat sugar. And so then you keep taking it in. So brain function, if you can get your gut in a place where it's not wanting to take in sugar and doesn't need as much caffeine, then you're going to be able to have that brain function, get rid of that brain fog that is keeping us from getting where we need to go in life, right? We're all entrepreneurs, everybody who's live right now. If you're trying to get somewhere in your life, brain fog is stopping you. And I've lived, I now, when I first went on my detox, it was like day 6, and I thought, oh my God, this is what I felt like when my thyroid was so bad. This is what I felt like when I was sick. I literally felt like I was swimming through water and like there was gauze over my brain. Like I just couldn't see straight. When I had my thyroid at the worst point, I couldn't see in distance, even with the correct prescription, but also I just couldn't think. And so fixing your digestion and fixing all of those balances can really make a big difference. Okay, slide 4, which is the one with the very happy lady on the beach. I love this photo. Okay, this is the fun stuff. This is the sexy stuff. So improved digestion creates positive vibes. What do I mean by that? So I just told y'all that your gut is your second brain, right? It produces 95% of the serotonin that your body produces. 95. Oh, sorry. I'm foggier now. Yes, Jen. We can chat all you want to, and I will work you through it. I've cut sugar cold turkey about 4 times. And I know that sounds like it didn't work, but if I start, like, I'll have fun and I'll be like, it's my birthday, but then I have to cut it all the way out cold turkey again, and then my health will improve. So it's night and day. If you can do it, night and day. But 95% of the serotonin in your body, which is the feel-good hormone, is produced in your gut. So if your gut is sad, if your gut is unhealthy, how do you think that your brain feels, right? Tryptophan. Do y'all know what tryptophan is? It's the turkey nap time thing in our body. So tryptophan is key to serotonin production. So it is hard for your body to produce serotonin without enough tryptophan. And you get tryptophan from turkey, bananas, milk, yogurt, eggs, meat, nuts, beans, fish, and cheese. Now, who's ever been on a low-fat diet? Thank God I can say that I never have, because I like cheese too much. But if you've ever been on a low-fat diet, the reason that does not work is because your brain function does not work as well, because low-fat means low fatty acids, first of all, and you need fatty acids for your brain to function, like normal function at all. Then the second thing is it means low tryptophan, because I just told you tryptophan, bananas, turkey, well, bananas aren't fattening, but turkey, yogurt, milk, eggs, meat, nuts, fish, cheese, right? That stuff is what gives you the tryptophan, which creates the positive vibes, which creates the serotonin. So people who try to do low-fat diets, then they get depressed because they don't have serotonin. And so then they're depressed, and so then they think they're depressed because they can't lose weight. And so then it's harder to lose weight. So you're just like this horrible cycle. Yeah, I mean, the one thing about fat is that your body has to be able to process it, right? So I've actually gone through times where I've done super high fat and no sugar, and then I'll get gallstones. So obviously there's a balance to all of this, but if you're using correct fats, coconut oil and olive oil, and getting rid of safflower, sunflower, all that crazy stuff that's actually terrible for us, I could talk for an hour about soy oil. I won't right now, but if you get rid of all of that stuff and you're using the healthy fats, you're giving your brain what it needs, and you're giving yourself the energy that your body needs actually through the coconut oil, through the medium chain triglycerides. And then you're happy. Then you have energy and you actually have less weight. So positive vibes, okay? So if you have a happy digestive system, it can create serotonin, which then can make you feel good. Who wants to feel good? Me. Okay. So I've explained to you guys what are some things that a good digestive system can do for us, right? So now let's talk about essential oils and how they're going to improve your digestion and help you with those things. Because as we were just talking, I just said cut out sugar completely. I just said eat the right kind of fats. I just said stop eating things that are hard to digest when you're sick. But some of that is so hard. And some of it is so hard when you're at that low level and you're needing to work your way back up. You cannot necessarily start there. Because as I've told people about my cleanse, and they're like, I have kids. I don't have time to have to lay around for a day. And I get that. And so where you need to start is something that you can add to your life instead of having to take sugar away first. Okay, so we're going to support your body with the essential oils, and that's going to get you to a place where you can start to make some of these other decisions that are harder to make. I hope that makes sense. So I have already told you all about essential oils for immunity, like using Thieves. The first thing I do when I start to get the sniffles, Thieves under my tongue. Toxic elimination, lavender, lemon, and peppermint are fantastic for supporting your lymph system. Brain function, frankincense is a fantastic brain oil. And for brain fog people, frankincense. Mood, lavender for mood. And so all of those things that I just said good digestion does, essential oils will help you with. But also, that's just half of the coin. The other coin is that they actually support your digestive system too. And a good digestive system also does those things. So does that make sense? If you use Thieves, Thieves will help support your immune system, but Thieves also supports digestion, and healthy digestion supports a healthy immune system, so you're doubling up on your immune system support, okay? So what are essential oils? I would love for someone to write in the comments what their understanding of essential oils are. We're on the next slide though, slide 5. And this is a little technical, the definition that they give, but I'm going to read it and then I'm going to explain more. So essential oils are volatile liquids and aromatic compounds that are distilled or pressed from plants. They've been used for thousands of years for cosmetic purposes as well as for their spiritual and emotionally uplifting properties, okay? They're extracted through steam distillation or cold pressing and are far more powerful than the botanicals from which they were extracted. Anytime you hold a bottle of powerful essential oils, you're holding nature's pure essence. So basically, sometimes people will call essential oils the lifeblood of the plant, and that feels like a little hokey way to say it, but what they mean is basically the way that our blood works, supporting our entire body system and sending the nutrients to where it needs to go, and helping us with immunity, the white blood cells, all that stuff. The thing that blood does in our body, essential oils do in a plant. So there are the other oils like coconut oil, which is a fatty oil, and there are actually those oils in all plants too, but the essential oils are the oils that are doing the thing that blood does. So in a plant, they will protect it from fungus and other and bacteria and all sorts of predators, and they will help it grow, and they will help it like keep from getting sick and all of that stuff. The things that help a plant thrive is what the essential oil does for the plant. But maybe you don't know this, but we're like 99% the same DNA as a plant. So the things that essential oils do in a plant that support, they also can support us in that same way. And it's a thing that we've known for thousands of years. The Egyptians, it's in the Bible, right? Frankincense, gold, and myrrh. But then we got smart and we're like, oh, we're going to make our own medicine. So we took compounds that are in essential oils and other natural things, and we produced them in a lab, and we targeted them, and we put them in a pill, and then we said, this is better. And of course, like I take Advil sometimes, I had to take thyroid medicine for a while. But all that stuff is something we've created from what nature already gave us. So the real way to go about it is to see, can I just use nature to support my body? Because it's going to be easier for my body to use a natural thing that's 99% the same DNA as it is for us to use a pill that was in a lab. They say vitamins, that was a big thing. Everybody take vitamins, and then they realized our body can't actually use the lab produced vitamins, and so that's why we now have raw vitamins, because our body can actually take vitamins out of fruit and use it, but it can't take vitamins made in a lab. So essential oils basically are nature's way of protecting the plant, and they can help support our body systems. It is hard to say all of the things that essential oils can do because they're not FDA regulated. All right, so the FDA regulates medication, right? And if the FDA regulated essential oils, you'd have to get a prescription to go get lavender oil. And so we don't really want that, because you don't want to have a prescription for lavender oil. But that means that I can't talk about lavender oil with you as if it were medication. So I can't say lavender cures or lavender helps with XYZ disease, because it's not a medication. It's not targeted for that. What lavender does is support actually a whole bunch of body systems and allow your body to do the job it was meant to do, which is take care of you, right, and heal you and support health. So I hope that makes sense. But the good news is, we're on slide 6. The Vitality line that Young Living, the oils that I use, the Vitality line that they created actually is FDA approved for you to take internally and use as a dietary supplement. So it's actually easier for me to talk about the Vitality oils as a dietary supplement, and therefore some things that it can actually do in your body, some ways that it can actually help take care of your gut, because there you can use, it's easier for you to talk about research and a causal analysis with dietary supplements, whereas something you put on your skin is cosmetic. And so I can't really say if you put lavender on your skin that it'll do XYZ, but I can say if you take in lemon oil, there's a causal effect. So that's just why sometimes if y'all ask me, like, I have hypertension, what should I do? My answer to you would be, well, what we're going to do is support, right, healthy head function. So slide 7. So this is why I posted the other day this photo of the lavender and then essential oils and gut dysbiosis, okay? And I basically said, y'all go Google gut dysbiosis and essential oils. Dysbiosis is a fancy term for microbial imbalance or maladaptation on the inside of the body, such as an imbalance in your microbes. So you're actually, you have in your body 10 times more microbial creatures than you do cells, human cells. There are 10 times more microbes, microbiotics and all that stuff inside your cells than your human cells. So we're going to talk about this later, but the microbiome is a really new thing that people have started talking about how you can actually unlock the DNA of different bacteria and different microbes in your system to actually turn on and off genes, like the gene for weight gain, the gene for weight loss. If you can actually have more of certain types of microbes in your system, you're more likely to be fat or more likely to be skinny. more likely to have high immunity, or more likely to have low immunity. And this is amazing, and this is so new. Most of this stuff I've known for 10 years, but the microbiome is so new that I'm still kind of learning about the way to take all the scientific knowledge and make it easier for people to understand. So I'm going to do, probably the next Tuesday, there will be more about the microbiome, because I don't want to get into it too much. I'll confuse everybody. But basically, one of the major things that essential oils do is they support an environment where the good microbes like to live, okay? They support an environment where the healthy stuff wants to be and the not healthy stuff doesn't want to be. Does that make sense to everybody? So the same thing, I take probiotics, and I'll talk more about that next time as well, but I'm putting good bacteria into my system, and that good bacteria is saying, okay, get out of the way, bad bacteria, get out of here. But if I have a good place for those to live, they stay happy. If you have an overly acidic or otherwise negative environment, lots of yeast, etc., then they don't want to live there, and they don't do as well, and so then you have that unbalance of your digestion. So if you want to know more, if you're like me and you're that detective personality and you don't want to just hear me say go take lemon oil, you want to learn more about it, then I want you to go Google essential oils and dysbiosis, Dysbiosis, okay? Because there's all sorts of stuff out there, and it will point to certain essential oils that they have done research on, and these researchers can tell you exactly what it does, whereas I can't necessarily. So, why did I put a picture of lavender by that dysbiosis slide? Because when you Google essential oils and dysbiosis, you're sure to find that they have done research with lavender. Bitter orange is another one, but lavender is one they've done a lot of research, and it turns out that this is one of the best ones for creating that good environment for the positive microbes to live in. Now, what's the other thing I've told you guys a lot about lavender for? For toxins, for supporting releasing toxins through the lymph, seasonal discomfort. I'm using it right now because of what I've got going on, my summer cold, but mostly for calming. And it's very interesting if you think about chicken and egg scenario. Is it that lavender calms you and that's good for your digestion? Or is it that lavender is actually affecting your digestive system and that's helping you produce serotonin? We're not exactly sure, but we do know that lavender is a great calming oil. So you can dig more and more and more and more and get to the which came first, the chicken or the egg, or you can just say, hey, whichever one, I'm going to use lavender because it's going to make my gut happy, and it's going to make me chill, which also makes my gut happy. So, anyone questions so far? Lavender is great. Yes. Lavender, I love lavender. That's kind of a lie. Lavender, I used to buy essential oils at Whole Foods and stuff, and fragrances, and I hated lavender. It was very florally and would give me allergy symptoms. But the Young Living oil is a really high quality. It's like a earthy. It's a really, really lovely oil. So I like it. I use it every night to calm me down before I go to bed. Okay, so that's lavender. Number 2 is lemon. Who can guess what lemon would be good for? I think if you've ever, what about laughter? Oh, laughter is really good for your mood too. I would say if he wants more laughter, I would use some orange oil or tangerine. That's what I would say. But lemon, we all know that if you squeeze a lemon into water, and then drink that in the morning, warm water, that will start your digestion working. Who hasn't heard that? I've been doing that for years. So, what are some of the things that make the lemon juice so great for you? Are some of the things that make the lemon oil, which lemon oil comes from the outside of the lemon. It's pressed as opposed to steam distilled. So one of the things in it is D-limonene, which is also in frankincense and orange. So it has a demonstrated ability to help improve digestion, sluggish bowels, and occasional occasional reflux, so acid reflux, occasional for that, and also sluggish bowels. So we were talking about that earlier, right? If you want to get your system started and get it running good, limonene is great for that, and that is in lemon, orange, and frankincense. Probably some other ones, but those are 3 main ones. So that's why I put a drop of lemon in my morning water every day, drop of lemon oil. It's also associated with gallbladder health. So if you've ever been told to do a gallbladder cleanse, I've done a couple of those, which are super gross, but you drink a bunch of lemon water and then olive oil. If you want to know about a gallbladder cleanse, I'll tell you about it later. But anyways, that's why. So it is a great detox support, and also supporting detox by moving everything through your system. Okay, so what I was talking about before, let me just stop and do my caveat. So y'all know I sell Young Living essential oils, right? So I'm invested in y'all wanting those oils, but I could be selling any oils, right? I could be selling oils from, what's that other company? There's a company that came out of Young Living. I've just lost the name of it. doTERRA. I could be selling their oils. That's also multi-level marketing. There's actually a bunch of places I could get wholesale oils, and I could sell them back to you through my business, through Lula May Design. I could be telling you to go get them from Whole Foods. The reason I'm telling you to get Young Living oils, there's actually a slide for this later, but is because A, that's the one that helped me with my thyroid condition. That is how I discovered the different quality in oils. But B, because they are 100% pure therapeutic grade oils, which you cannot say about what you find in Whole Foods. So I don't want y'all to listen to this. Please, 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 please. Do not listen to this and go to Whole Foods and buy oils. I've spent so much money at Whole Foods, and I love Whole Foods. However, the FDA doesn't regulate what is in the oil bottle. It only has to be 5% essential oil, and it can be 95% whatever else they want. So it may just be, grapeseed oil. It may just be, it may be alcohol. Actually, you can get tipsy from essential oils from the grocery store. Alcohol, it can be also a whole bunch of other chemicals you don't want. So why, when I was buying Whole Foods brand or Now or Arcacia or all those oils, it's like, it helps a little bit, but not that much. Well, when you get 5% oil, it does 5% of the job. When you buy 100% oil, it does 100% of the job. So why is Young Living more expensive? Well, you get 100% oil versus 5%. And that's only in the case of them actually using organic oil. A lot of these companies, they're just like crap food. It's like if you buy Kraft, or, a lot of places, they're like, we don't use hydrogenized oil anymore, but that doesn't make it good for you. So anyway, the reason I am talking about Young Living oils is because I firmly believe in that company, and I'm not making any more money by selling it from them. The reason I'm doing this, I could be focusing on my jewelry and just be ignoring this entirely, but I'm too passionate about it. So it's not really about the money. It's about getting you guys to try this out, try an oil, see how it changes your life, and then have the health benefits that I have seen since November of last year, starting to take oils. And I've tried all the natural stuff, y'all. I've done it all for the past 10 years. And there are a lot of important things to do, but I never had an immediate difference like I did when I started taking the therapeutic grade essential oils. So, Jen, to your question, Young Living went to the trouble to create a vitality line, which is FDA approved for internal use. The reason a lot of oils say for external use only is because of all that other crap that's in the bottle, because there's other oils, because there's chemicals. And no, you do not want to take those internally. You do not want to buy, oils at Whole Foods and take that internally, because you don't know what's in that. But if it's 100% lemon oil, yes. And there's a whole line, and all the ones we're talking about right now, there is a vitality line. So I should just be showing you. These white labels, that is the vitality line. That means internal use. Lavender, this dark label, is not labeled for internal use. However, it's the same oil. So there is a lavender bottle that's Lavender Vitality. It's the same oil as this. It's just so that you know when you buy it, all right, the FDA said I can take this in. So I just go into Young Living, and if you know it's a Vitality, then you know you can take it internally, no matter what the bottle looks like. I hope that makes sense. I know I just went off on you guys, but all this stuff is really important if you do it right, and it can actually really hurt you if you do it wrong. Okay, so after lemon, we have peppermint, okay? So lavender, lemon, and peppermint, which is my great detox support combo. You can actually combine those together, and those are amazing. But peppermint, as a dietary supplement, peppermint contains the chemical menthol. And while I can't tell you that peppermint does this, I can tell you what menthol does. They've done a ton of studies with menthol, and it helps reduce excessive gas in the intestines. It relaxes the intestinal muscles, helping reduce spasms, and it has pain-relieving and anti-inflammatory actions. So all of that is why peppermint tea, right, is a great thing if you have stomach issues. But peppermint tea is not nearly as powerful as peppermint oil. So if I have any sort of a digestive thing, and I actually now, while I've been doing this cleanse, just every time I eat, take a drop of the peppermint, okay, put it in your palm and rub it all over your stomach. From where your stomach is, right at your rib cage, all the way down over your intestines. Because you want to get those menthol effects of the less gas, reducing spasms and moving everything through, and then anti-inflammatory, pain relieving. A lot of times when you feel like you've gained a lot of weight because your stomach is big, you've got that stomach bulge, a lot of that is not fat. It's inflamed intestines, which is really gross. But peppermint is really great for its anti-inflammatory properties. All right. Y'all let me know if you have questions about that, but peppermint's amazing. Okay, frankincense. This is our fourth oil. Frankincense, which is basically called the coconut oil of essential oils because it's good for everything, right? Coconut oil you can use for everything. So can you with frankincense because it's got a lot of great stuff in it. I already told you it has limonene, right? It also contains pinene. And pinene, in a recent study involving stomach ulcers, alpha-pinene pre-treatment inhibited ethanol-inducing gastric lesions, reduced volume and acidity of the gastric juice, and increased gastric wall mucus. So the mucus lining on your stomach is actually what keeps you from having, from the acids from eating the wall of your stomach, right? Which is gross. But that alpha-pinene actually increased the wall mucus and decreased the gastric acid level. So I'm not saying that, I can't say that frankincense will do all of those things, but I can tell you that frankincense has pinene in it, and when used as a dietary supplement, you're getting pinene into your system, and pinene does all those things. So that, if you're more of a stomach issue person versus an intestinal issue person, frankincense might be a good place to start. All right, fifth one, we're at Thieves. So I talk a lot about Thieves as an immunity boosting one. So in the morning, it's about to be really spicy, I will just take this and I will, let me see if I can get a drop. I'm probably, oh, this is my old one. Never mind. But I'll just put a drop under my tongue. And that's actually still considered topical. That's not even considered ingestion. But that will go right into your bloodstream super quickly. Is frankincense safe for thyroid issues? Frankincense is amazing for thyroid issues because frankincense supports a healthy hormone balance. So frankincense plus Endoflex, that one, the one that I tell y'all is the first essential oil that I used, and it's like the love of my life. Endoflex and thyme is also really good for balancing hormones. And peppermint. Peppermint is great for shooting up your, helping support a healthy temperature, body temperature, and digestion, which is super important for thyroid. But frankincense, yes, absolutely. If you have, no, it doesn't matter. Even if it's high or low thyroid, frankincense is great. Either taken internally with the Vitality or just rubbed. I actually put a lot of oils on my feet because when you drop an oil on the bottom of your foot, within 20 minutes, it's in every cell of your body. Your feet have great absorption power. And then you don't have to smell like frankincense all day either. So I do that with Endoflex every day. But Thieves, okay. So I've told you guys a lot about Thieves as an immunity booster. The Thieves blend, that's a weird name, right? It actually came from a story about the Black Plague. So there was a group of thieves in the south of France who were robbing the dead bodies and the dying bodies of people who had the Black Plague, and they were taking all of their riches. They finally got caught, and the authorities said, "All right, we won't kill you, right? I mean, still probably going to be bad, but we won't treat you as bad if you will just tell us, how did you not get the Black Plague? How did you not get sick when you were robbing from these people who were dying? And anytime you touched someone who had it, you died." What they said was, well, we were using a blend of oils, XYZ, PDQ, whatever. And so they're saying, these are all the oils we're using. Well, so that's what the recipe for this comes from. So that's pretty incredible that there are a bunch of guys who didn't get the Black Plague, and we know what that recipe was. So what's in it is clove, lemon, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. All right. So basically, the reason that I talk about this with your immunity is because 85% of or 80% of immunity is in your gut, right? So that's fantastic. Getting Thieves into your system is going to support that 85% of your immunity. But also because the less time you spend sick, if you have good immunity through using the oils, the less likely you are, okay, how can you tell when, I'll get to that in a minute, Ida, don't let me forget. The less time you're sick, the less likely you are to use antibiotics. And what antibiotics does is it kills everything. If you take an antibiotic, good, bad, indifferent bacteria, it's all gone. That is not good. That's why you get a yeast infection, because there's no bacteria, so the I think it's a fungus, yeast can grow. And then when you have no good bacteria, so that's basically wiping out your immune system inside your digestive system, which is 80% of your immunity, then you're going to get sick again. So if you've ever taken antibiotics and gotten sick, and then gotten sick, and then gotten sick, and then gotten sick, that's why. Because it kills your immune system. Because they're like, let me just bomb this. It's like taking a hatchet rather than a scalpel to the problem. So, yes, and I've taken more antibiotics than I wanted to, because I used to get, what do you call it? Tonsillitis, really bad. Like I thought I was going to die. And so, then you got to take it, but you just don't want to get there. You don't want to have to get to that point where you need antibiotics, especially if you have kids. You want to keep them from having to take it, because every time they take it, that's really messing with your ability to have good immunity. So if you can use Thieves to support a healthy immune system, it's less likely that you're going to have to deal with that. If you do have to deal with that, let me know. We'll work your way through it, but better just not to have to deal with it. Okay, so Ida, how can you tell if it's an intestinal versus a stomach issue? A lot of that has to do seriously with where the pain is. If the pain is in your, I'm going to stand up, though you still can't see. Okay, never mind. If the pain is in your rib cage area, then it's going to be stomach or gallbladder or liver. If it's in your lower back, then it's going to be kidneys. And if it's obviously in your lower front, then it's going to be intestines. And also, how quickly do you feel bad after you eat? If when you eat you feel bad pretty immediately, it's probably a stomach issue. If it takes a few hours, if you eat sugar and it takes a few hours and you feel kind of like crap, it's probably an intestine issue. Whereas if you were to eat sugar or grains or something and almost immediately you feel terrible, then you probably want to look at your stomach as well. Also acid reflux, that's a good way to tell. But you can actually, if you want to use these oils internally, you can just put them in water and swallow them. But to get them into your intestines, the best way to do it is to get one of those little capsule pills. And I haven't done this yet. I've just been putting them topically on the outside of my stomach, because that goes through your skin as well. But you can get a little empty capsule pill and put like 3 or 4 drops of oil, and then the rest with a carrier oil like olive oil, and digest that. And then that takes your body a while to break through the capsule, right? So if you use a single wall one, then that gets into your stomach. You can get double wall, so double thickness pill capsules, and that will get it all the way into your intestines. That's what they use time release capsules. That's what they use for probiotics, to make sure that the probiotics don't get eaten by your stomach acid before they get down into your intestine. So if you have, there's actually a lady, what is her name? Jen O'Sullivan. I'm in her Facebook group, The Human Body and Essential Oils. She's got a bunch of books. She's an aromatherapist. And one thing she talks about is if she's having upper respiratory or sinus issues, she'll take a single capsule of lavender, lemon, and peppermint. If she's having trouble with digestive stuff, she may even use lavender, lemon, and peppermint again, but in a double capsule to get it all the way down into your intestines. So that was off topic, but hopefully helpful. Okay, Digize. I've saved really the best for last. Digize is the essential oil blend that Young Living created particularly for your digestive system. So it has tarragon, ginger, peppermint, juniper, lemongrass, anise, or anise, however you say that, patchouli. So I didn't mention all of those before, partially because they're just in this. A lot of those are fantastic oils for kind of neutralizing negative bacteria and providing a great space for positive bacteria and immunity as well. So Digize, this one tastes disgusting. Sorry, it just does. But I still will put a drop under my tongue and or rub it on my stomach whenever I have a heavy meal. So I don't know if any of y'all have ever taken digestive enzymes. That's another thing I'll probably talk about next week. If you have trouble processing either grains or sugars or fats, then if you take a digestive enzyme, the kind that will break down one or all of those, that can really help you. Same thing with Digize. If you marry those together and you rub Digize on your stomach or take it internally with the Vitality and the digestive enzyme, then that heavy meal or that birthday cake will go through your system a lot better. It'll support a healthy digestion and a quick digestion, and then you won't have to worry so much about those toxins building up in your system. So we talked at the beginning about slow digestion, right? If you get stopped up, Digize. The first way to go. Also Comfortone, which I would grab, but I didn't bring it out, but that's an actual supplement that you can take that has some oils in it as well, that I've been taking with my cleanse from Young Living. But just Digize, if you're using that, yeah, that'll help. That'll help clear you out. So what was my next thing? Okay. So I already talked to you guys a little bit earlier about why Young Living, right? Why am I so passionate about Young Living? And they actually have what they call a seed to seal promise, which basically means from the time they plant the seed to the time that they seal it in the bottle and it gets sent to you, they're promising 100% purity. So when they buy land, they make sure that land has never had a crop on it before, so that they know 100% that it's organic, right? That there wasn't anything else that had chemicals that went into the soil. Then they they plant, hand weed, hand do everything, no chemicals, totally organic. And then they actually have a team of scientists that will be able to tell when the oil is at its peak efficacy, when it has the most ripeness, as it were, when it has the most of the sesquiterpenes and monoterpenes and all of the great stuff and the pinene and all that stuff that we take the oils for, those constituents. And once it hits that peak, then they all go out there and they pick that oil, or the plants. Then they do a steam distillation process that is low heat, so they're keeping all the oil. They don't add any chemicals or any processing agents to squeeze more oil out of it. And then they have it tested by a third party to make sure that the third party is saying, yes, it's 100% pure, not just Young Living saying, yeah, we did it. And then they seal it up and then they send it to you. And so I'm actually not allowed to open a Young Living bottle and put it in anything and call it Young Living and sell it to you, because that breaks the seed to seal promise. So I can't mix them together and then sell you something and say, this is a Young Living blend of these oils, because they're so, that it's still being sealed and 100% pure is so important to them. So once I understood that, then I understood more why these oils had worked for me when other oils hadn't. I didn't go look for Young Living because of that promise, and it even seemed a little bit cheesy to me at first. I don't like cheesiness, but anyway, it seemed a little bit cheesy to me at first, but then I understood the FDA issue, and I just saw it work within a month of not having to be on my thyroid medication anymore. I'm like, something is different. What is going on? And that is part of it, is that they can actually promise, where a lot of people, either they can or they don't bother to, because the purity is not as important to them as just getting the oil out there and selling it. So, okay. Questions that you guys have. Go ahead and ask me. Try and stump the band. Try and see if there's something that I can't answer for you. If you have a question and you don't want to ask the room, or you think about it later, you can message me. But whenever I do these oils things, obviously I'm trying to convince you guys to buy some oils. Like I said before, I'm not making a ton of money off of it. I get a commission, but it's because I really think that it can help you guys. And as I get to know everybody, I know what's going on in your lives, and I know that there are a lot of things that are parallel to my issues, and I know that my issues have started to be solved, be it emotional or mental or physical. So the way that I started was I got 2 bottles of oil. I got Indoflex and Valor. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second, Jen. I got those 2 oils, and then I said, pardon me, but damn, that worked. And so I was like, I went back to the lady. If you know Dawn Masters, she's in Joyful, and she's also in Flourish. I posted on Facebook on the Flourish group. I said, guys, somebody help me with my thyroid. And Dawn wrote back and she said, well, it's hard for me to explain to you exactly how this works, but Indoflex from Young Living really helped me. And she was trying so hard not to sell it to me, because she's such a sweetheart. She's not a salesperson, but I was like, no, I want some. So I bought those 2 oils, and then I went back to her and I'm like, now what? So we talked about it, and I bought the whole kit. So they have a PSK, I think that's your last slide 15. They have a premium starter kit, and Jen, to your question, yes, they sell accessories. The way you don't really want to use an oil burner for therapeutic use. You can use it to smell good, but getting it heated can break down some of the properties. It's like if you cook spinach, you have less nutrients than raw spinach. So you want to diffuse it with a cold air diffuser. And so the premium starter kit, you actually get 11 oils, including all the ones we talked about. So lavender, lemon, peppermint, frankincense, Thieves, Digestive, plus 5 other ones that I didn't even mention. You get that and a diffuser, and some samples of Ningxia Red, which I'll talk about next week, which is a great immunity drink. All of that for $160. So that is an insane deal. It's half off of that stuff. And to me, I got sticker shock at first because I didn't have a lot of money. I had even less money then probably than I do now. Although we're all entrepreneurs, so we don't have a ton. But once I started calculating all the money I had spent on stuff at Whole Foods that didn't work, it just clicked, and I was like, no, I got to do it. So I bought the kit, and it's a total life changer. There are people who I'll talk to them about it, and they're like, no, I want the kit, but then they can't afford it. And it's like, guys, so when you get the kit, you then save 50% off all those oils. Then you save 24% on anything else you buy forever and ever and ever, as long as you spend $50 a month. So you can go buy Thieves right now, or you can get the kit, and then you'll get 24% off on the Thieves. But there are some people who are not buying the oils because they want to get the whole kit, and that frustrates me, because if you need the health benefit, buy just the one oil. Do what I did. Don't save 24%, but get the oil. Don't worry about the $5. Get the oil. Try the oil. It'll help you out. You'll understand, and then you'll go back and get the kit. So I'm not even trying to get you guys to give me as much money as possible. It doesn't matter to me. Just do what you can. The kit's a better deal. But if one of these spoke to you, if you go back through the slides and you're like, man, I need some lavender, get the lavender. But if you can do 160, it's totally worth it. Okay, so y'all can ask me any more questions you want about that. But Bree, let me see what you said. Is there anything? So Jen, for your answer, yes, there are a bunch of different diffusers, but I just have the home diffuser, and it comes with the kit. Okay, Is there anything that helps with not being able to process cellulose well? My dad was told not to eat bread or fruits and veggies until they're pureed. So I don't know if I can see the rest of your comment. I went to an acupuncturist a couple years ago who told me, who told me that I had low digestive, low digestive enzymes and low stomach acidity. And I think that's really all has to do with the thyroid issue. But she basically told me, don't eat anything raw, and eat a lot of bone broth. So that would be very warming, and it would give me a lot of the nutrients that I needed, but would be easier for my body to digest. So yes, so I don't eat a ton of salad, especially if my digestion is not feeling that great, because I know my body won't process it. If my body doesn't process it and I just poop it out, then I didn't get any of those, I didn't get the benefits from that. And it slowed down my digestion, which slows down your immunity, which slows down your body temperature and all that stuff. So they are harder for you to digest, but what you can do, if you want to get the properties from that, do all this stuff to improve your digestion, and then that'll improve. But you can also take the digestive enzymes. So if you want to eat fruit and you take the digestive enzyme that helps you to break down cellulose, then you'll be able to eat it better. There are a bunch of them. I've taken a lot of them, but there is one by Young Living I'm going to start using. It's just been out of stock. But you can go to Whole Foods and you can try a couple different ones and see which works for you, and based on which thing you want to digest. So if you have trouble digesting meat, do that. And I think, Bree, we've talked about blood type diet as well. So it may, if he may have a blood type where that's just not going to happen anyway. He doesn't produce that enzyme. So if you take a digestive enzyme, that'll help you. Okay, anybody else, if you have questions, you can go ahead and post them below. I went a little bit over the hour, a couple of minutes. I just want to tell you guys, if you're ready to get the oils now, if you want to go on and do it, then you can go to tinyurl.com/Lula Essentials. I think my number is on here, so you can also go to youngliving.com and it'll ask you for my sponsor number, and my sponsor number is 113-79166. So basically what you're telling them is you're on my team. So I get a commission based on that, but then like any questions that you have, I'm the person to help you with that. And obviously also, I can make a little bit of money off selling these to you guys. You can turn around and do the same thing. It's not a ton, but if you're having trouble with the idea of paying for the whole kit, one way to do it is to get the kit, see that it makes a difference, and tell your friend. And when your friend gets one, then you'll get a little bit of commission from that, and that can help you pay back the kit. So there are lots of ways to do this. Basically, at this point, I'm just kind of getting free oils. I'm being able to pay for my Endoflex by sharing this with you guys. So if you're ready to do it, you can go to Young Living and put in my number, the 113-79166. Or you can go, I made my own little link, tinyurl.com/Lula Essentials, and it will just run you through a process. It'll just say, do you want to be a wholesale member, or do you want to do retail? Retail if you're not ready for the kit, wholesale member if you're ready for the kit. And then it's going to ask you for your information, like any website, and then it'll ask you if you want Essential Rewards. And if you're not sure, you can ask me about that. But that's basically, I buy stuff every month. And if you buy $50 a month, you get a bunch of rewards for doing that. So if you're into it and you know you're going to do that, sign up now. If you're not sure, you can pass by. You get you get a chance whenever you want to sign up for it. But I hope that this was helpful. Next Tuesday, we are going to do the 5 fastest ways to improve digestion. And it's not necessarily oils. This is the oil part, but I'm going to talk about some other things that go along with this. I hinted at it a little bit, but a more well-rounded and everything sort of a look. But guys, if you have questions, ask me. Try and stop me. Try and ask something that I can't figure out, and I'm more than happy to look it up. I just want you guys to be able to see the health benefits that I've had, and I'm still working on my digestion. That's why I did this month, because I knew that part of my digestive issues was keeping me from being able to take the thyroid pill and get the benefits out of it, the prescription one. And so that's why the essential oils were really helpful for me. But now that I'm healthy, I want to improve my digestion. So I'm working through all the stuff I already know and learning more stuff as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. Ask me any questions. And I'm also doing a blog on the cleanse. So go to the lulamaydesign.com/blog to read more about that. Okay? Thank you guys. I will see you next time, next Tuesday, and we will chat on Facebook. Thanks. See y'all later.